Hi gamers, welcome back. Today we are going to be ranking every single kind of instant noodles that I had in May 2023 because it was the last month of the uni year and it was a struggle month and it's okay to not like cooking. Yeah. So, let's get into it, I guess. I'm gonna be reviewing them in the order that I actually had them in for maximum authenticity, and also I took notes, so once again, I am showing my immense commitment to this. So the first one is Nongshim Tempura Udon Big Bowl Edition, because I'm a big boy, so I need a big bowl. Anyway, okay, it was okay. Full stop. It was kind of mid. Let's be honest. It didn't give me much to work with personally. Like it was good ramen, I guess, but it had no distinguishable good nor bad traits. So I wouldn't really buy it again because it just didn't give me much to work with. Positives. I like the Naruto Maki that it came with because it was cute. I like a little fun shape. Downside is it was kind of fishy, but it's not really a downside because it said tempura on it, so it was just me refusing to accept that. I should have expected it. And it wasn't bad. It was just a bit too fishy for my liking, but it was good, like it's just not to my taste. So yeah, overall 6 out of 10 because it wasn't good, it wasn't bad. I just wouldn't buy it again because it wasn't for me. Next up, we have the Oricey
Pho.
noodles chicken flavor. And this one was actually kind of insane, to be honest, because first of all, I didn't know that it actually came with rice noodles as opposed to, the regular egg ones. And I personally love rice noodles. I think they are the best. I think they are incredible, fantastic, show-stopping, breathtaking, all of that. And yeah, egg noodles can kind of taste cheap sometimes if you get really bad ones. But I personally don't think you can go wrong with rice noodles. So that was obviously a big plus. And this actually almost tasted like takeout soup. I don't know how else to explain it. I was eating it and it did not feel like a struggle meal at any point. I would consider this fine dining by my standards. But no, it was genuinely really good. It wasn't spicy at all. It was just a really good, really delicately flavored, flavorful broth. Like I'm a soup connoisseur now. So 8 out of 10. Shout out to Vietnam. Number three, this is actually very near and dear to my heart, and this is Indomie mee goreng spicy noodles. And genuinely, I have had these. I don't know how many. It's got to be. I don't want to say 10 at least times this year, but it's probably somewhere like that. Because these are a crutch, They're a struggle meal, they're a comfort meal. They're tasty, salty, and delicious and flavorful. We love flavor. And this was also very these noodles were very important to me because they were the first ones I had where I realized that, instant noodles don't actually need to have soup because I wasn't really a soup girl earlier on this year. I didn't feel the need to have the broth that you get with most instant ramen. And here I was like, whoa, it's just noodles. It's fantastic. It's incredible. It's insane. And my local store sells these for 45p. So obviously that is a big plus. I love mee goreng, a constant in my life. However, the downside is it's one of those things that you can't have too much because you will get sick of it. So initially I was going to rate these 9 out of 10, but now I'm thinking 8 out of 10 is probably a more reasonable placement because that's the thing. It's so good, but when you have too much of it, it just gets nasty and yeah, can't be doing that. So if you haven't had mee goreng, you should go have it. And I actually really want to try the real Indonesian meal as opposed to the instant version because I hope it's just as good as this one. Maybe I'll make a video when I have actual mee goreng, do a little review. But yeah, if you haven't had it, have it ASAP. We are finally midway through my list, and this is Nongshim Kimchi Ramyun. And honest to God, we go so far back. Okay, like this is a real one from back in the day. Back in the day, I was getting these for £1 from Asda. If you know, you know. Actually, no one would know because Anyway, this is the first ramen I actually had that became my favorite. Okay, like this was my go-to. This was what mee goreng is now. This was the gateway drug, so to speak. And honestly, I haven't had it in about 6 months prior to, this month's experience, question mark? I don't know. Prior to now. And I was excited because, I've had such fond memories of it. And now that I've had all this other ramen, I wouldn't know if this could keep up. I just didn't know if it would be on the same level anymore. But, I had it. My first thought was that it was worse than I remembered. And this was actually quite sad. I was like, no, it just doesn't hit the same anymore. It's different. I've changed. We've grown apart. But then I was making my way through the broth and I was like, no, this is fantastic. This is flavorful, delectable, astounding. And I would consider this to be the gold standard of ramen. You know what I mean? This to me is the benchmark of good ramen, good instant noodles, whatever you want to call it. This is fantastic. You can't go wrong with it. The noodles were the weakest link, in my opinion, but the broth carried. So honestly, you can't really complain about any part of this. I think this is beyond numbers, personally. I'm not sure I would put this out of 10, because this is just the benchmark for what good ramen should be, but saying 5 out of 10 just feels disrespectful. So I'm going to give it the letter G. Yeah. Next up, we have Samyang Buldak spicy chicken. Wait, no, it's called hot chicken noodles. I feel like we should have a moment of silence for this one, because this was genuinely the worst ramen experience of my life. But I'll explain why, okay? But moment of silence. Okay, anyway, so I've had these before, and they've been good. The first time I had these, I really liked them, but there was a lot of circumstances to consider in this particular event, let's call it. So I had these at approximately 2:30 a.m. during my first ever all-nighter in preparation for the final submission deadline for the first year of uni. And yeah, I'm reminiscing now, I've relapsed. I'm remembering all those terrible hours I spent at my desk. But yeah, so the setup was bad. Maybe if I was having a nice day, let's say 5 p.m., having some ramen as a little treat, maybe this would have gone well, but it did not. It was awful. I almost threw up. I think I added like half the sauce packet because I genuinely just couldn't cope, and it was really bad. And I mean, I ate the whole thing, but God, it was tragic. It felt like I was eating plastic. It was not good. It was not fun. It was not fresh nor exciting. See, this is the tough thing, because I'm doing a May 2023 specific ranking, so I guess I'm gonna have to put this at like a 2 out of 10. But if you haven't had it, you should have it, because it is genuinely good. Just have it when you're doing okay. Just don't have it as a struggle meal. That's what I'm gonna say. Have it as a little treat. So after my tragic hot chicken samyang experience, I had to do a test. I had to recalibrate. I didn't know at the time if it was just the circumstances that meant I had a terrible time eating those, or if my taste buds had actually, I don't know, declined, denatured, whatever you want to call it. So I got these samyang jajang black bean sauce noodles, and I would consider them to be my favorite flavor. And thankfully, everything was great. These are trusty, tasty as always, very good, very distinct flavor. You can have it every once in a while, but not too often, I would say, because it gets a bit bland when you have it too much. But yeah, genuinely, the first time I had these, it was kind of embarrassing, actually. Story time. There was a party that I came back from because it got shut down early. And first of all, cringe. Second of all, I was already wasted, which is also kind of embarrassing. So I was in my kitchen at midnight, which is early, just kind of not sober, but I was, I was functioning. I was making these noodles and I had them, and it was genuinely the most like eye-opening, third eye enlightenment experience of my life. So we share a special bond, me and Samyang Jajang black bean sauce hot chicken noodles. Yeah, with we're special, we're bonded. Wait, where was I going with this? Rating. I would say 7 out of 10, because it misses the mark for that 8. but it's trusty, it's reliable, it's a 7. I like the number 7. I would consider it lucky. So 7 it is. Finally, we have Oh Ricey.
hủ tiếu sườn heo,
And this one was an investigation actually. This was a test. This was a psychological experiment, so to speak. Because I didn't know if the first wait. Oh my god, it's not Oh Ricey, it's Ah Ricey. Okay, well you know what I mean, close enough. They're both vowels. And yeah, so this wasn't a test to see whether the first soup was a fluke or if it was actually just, a really good brand I should look into. And I had this one and it was phenomenal. It was, I think it was pork flavor. I'm not sure, to be honest, but it was very good. And it slapped. It was the rice noodles that carry, I think, but the broth itself was also really good. Kind of oily if I had to, if I had to get really nitpicky and find something, maybe a bit, oily, greasy, whatever. But I would say that just adds to the vibe. It was good. Once again, it did not taste like a struggle meal in the slightest, and I really enjoyed, and I will be repurchasing a large amount over the next year. Okay, so I think that's the end of this ranking. I put them onto a little tier list because I thought, what's a video without a tier list? So yeah, shout out to me for eating instant noodles. Shout out to my 2 subscribers, one of which I know, the second one I don't. I don't know how to find out who your subscribers are. Also, I think it's funny if I just don't ever find out. But yeah, thanks for watching. If anyone actually watched this to the end, bye.